Krishna Krishna.
Hari Om children, and welcome to story time. It is Krishna's time. It was the 11th day of the moon. It is called as a very sacred day of the month, Ekadashi. And that's the day many people worship Lord Vishnu and they fast, and it's only on the 12th day after worship they eat food. But the timings were such that by the time it was to have bath in the river, it was already dark. And when it is dark, it's not safe to have bath in the river or the ocean. And when it is dark, there are certain times when it is time for these asuras, for these demons to go around. Nandababa, seeing that this is the right time, according to the cosmic movement, he went and had a bath. He was having a bath at a sacred time, but it was night time. So this person, who was one of the guards of Varun Devata. Varun Devata is the lord of the waters, rivers, oceans. And this demon caught Nandababa and took him inside the river and straight to the abode of Varun Devata. While the Gopas, when they saw Nandababa has disappeared in the waters, they called out. To whom? Everybody knew that whenever there is any trouble, when Krishna is near, there is nothing to fear. They called out, Krishna, 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 Krishna. Nandababa has gone into the river, we can't find him. Krishna immediately came there and went into the river. And deep, deep, deep into the river. And what a wonder! Inside the waters, there was a complete kingdom of Varun Devata. Because he is the lord of the waters, he lives in the waters. And this guard of his had taken him and placed him into his palace. At whom? It was Nandababa. When Krishna came searching for Nandababa, and when Varun Devata found out that Nandababa has been brought here while he was taking bath for Ekadashi, he scolded that demon and told him that, don't you know, you should have not done this. And that was, I catch everybody at night. He said, you shouldn't have done this. But because of that, who came swimming there? Shining with brilliant light. None other than the one with the peacock feather. When he came to the kingdom of Varuna, and Varuna saw Krishna, he knew that Krishna is the Lord of the universe. Otherwise, how could he have come into the waters where people can't take any breath? And he came there, and when Krishna came and stood there, Varun Devata immediately kept his hands together and bowed down to Krishna and said, Oh Krishna, this mistake of my servant has blessed me that you have come to my kingdom. You have come to my abode. You are the Supreme Lord. You are the one who has compassion and love for the whole universe. You have come here to protect those who are good and to defeat those who are evil and those who are bad. Oh, he was so happy seeing Krishna and considering himself to be blessed. While Nandababa is watching this, that even the devatas of heaven are bowing to his son, Krishna. When Varun Devta told Krishna that you can take your father with you, and I say sorry again for this mistake that has happened. Krishna smiled and blessed Varun Devata, and he brought Nanda Baba to the surface of the water and to the shore. Everybody looked that Nanda Baba was safe, the chief, the king was safe, and they yelled out, Bolo Krishna Kanaya Lal Ki. What? Jai! They were so happy. And Nanda Baba, who had seen the power, the glory, the respect that Sri Krishna got from Varun Devata, he was so impressed that he told all of the Gopas there. And they were the Gopa men, they were the Gopa boys. He told them the splendor, the richness, the glory, the beauty of the kingdom of Varuna under the water. And how such a mighty king of the waters adored, respected, worshipped Krishna. And he said that our Krishna is not ordinary. Even the heavenly devatas worship him. All of the Gopa boys knew their Krishna. All the men looked at Krishna. They had seen him carry the Govardhan mountain. And all of them, they also prayed, Hey Krishna, you are the Supreme Lord. You are all-pervading and everywhere. You are infinite. And knowing you, people attain happiness, unending happiness. They attain liberation. They attain freedom. Can you show us your nature? Can you show us that abode, that when you take form, that abode where you live? Can you show us your supreme, supreme, supreme abode? And Krishna, because of the love of the Gopas, blessed them all first with his power and took them to the state of meditation where they experienced their oneness with Krishna, oneness with the whole creation. And then he showed them the splendor of Vaikuntha, the splendor of Golok, the greatness of the highest place, the highest world. And when they saw all that, I also used to think as a child, grandmother, can we go to such a place? And she said, yes, when Krishna blesses. Otherwise, one has to do a lot of tapas, lot of austerity. But if Krishna blesses, nothing is impossible. And that beautiful world he showed them. And when he brought them back to this world, they just knew that Krishna was none other than the supreme infinite Brahman, and he alone was Vishnu, and he alone had come to bless them, and he was a friend to them, he was a son to them, he was a nephew to them, and he played with them. Sometimes they scolded him, sometimes they teased him, and they realized that who was there amidst them. And having blessed these Gopas, these cowherds, now was time to bless those who loved Krishna, just like these Gopas, but would not get that much time with him. And they were the Gopis of Vrindavan. And as he had promised the Gopis, who while taking bath in the river Yamuna, and he had taken away their clothes, and the prayer that they were doing at that time was to have Krishna, to be able to worship Krishna, to touch his feet. They wanted to spend some time with Krishna alone, just as their own dear one. And it was Sharad Purnima, somewhere during the month of November. The full moon on that autumn day appears so beautiful, and the moon after sunset had just risen, and that huge moon close to the horizon of the earth, and at that time it has got a reddish color, a crimson color, and its redness had spread across the horizon. And even though the sky was dark purple, the horizon near the earth was colored as though with the beautiful, delightful red color of the moon. And by the time the moon rises and becomes its brilliant silver, there was just that beautiful atmosphere, as though even the sky had spread the red color of love everywhere. In the forest of Vrindavan, all the beautiful fragrant flowers such as the jasmine and the lilies had bloomed, and they were wafting their fragrance, and there was the gentle breeze that was flowing, carrying the fragrance. And seeing this beauty of nature, the Lord of happiness, the Lord of bliss, the Lord of Ananda, he, seeing the beauty of nature and to delight the hearts of the Gopis with his love, Shri Krishna picked up his flute and, standing with his legs crossed, his head bent, and such a beautiful posture, such a beautiful form, Krishna, bringing out the love from his heart, the happiness from his heart to his lips, into his breath, he played the most beautiful tune on the flute. And Krishna plays this flute to call his devotees. Have you sometimes, in love for Krishna, just sit quiet and listen to the call of his flute? The breeze carried the sound of the flute, and it was heard everywhere in the forest. But in the houses, in the village, it was already dusk. The Gopis heard the sound of Krishna's flute. Their hearts were so thrilled with love. Whatever they were doing, some were milking the cows. They just left and they just ran out of their house to the forest. Some were heating the milk. They left the milk on the stove for it to overflow and they ran. There were others who were working in the house. The moment they heard the call of the flute, They just abandoned everything. They just left everything. They just ran towards the forest from where the sound of the flute came. Some of them were even feeding their husbands, but they also just left everything and they ran from there. Some of them were getting ready and wearing their clothes. Some were putting on their makeup. Some of them, while they were putting their makeup and when they were putting that dark liner on their eyes, they covered their whole face with it. Somebody just put the makeup wrong. Some were wearing their jewelries, but they also did not know when they heard the sound of the flute. Some wore bangles on their ears. Some wore different ornaments. They wore their waistband as their necklaces. Some of them even were dressing up for the evening. Some of them wore their skirts as their top blouse. All of them were so lost, so madly in love, that some of them did not even know how they wore their jewelry. In fact, they appeared more beautiful to Krishna because you could see that lost in their love, they didn't even think about their body. They just ran. If one or two of them were stopped, they, in their love and their pain of separation from Krishna, they left their body there and their self, their spirit, went to Krishna even before the other gopis could run there. And all of them came running to Krishna. And having come to Krishna, who was playing the flute, they just came and fell at his feet. Krishna saw these gopis and they came in such big numbers. All the gopis of Vrindavan, leaving everything, came to their Lord, came to their Krishna. Krishna saw all these gopis having left their homes and come, even though Krishna knew of their pure love. Yet Krishna, to test them, says to these gopis, it is middle of the night. It is dark. And such lovely ladies, such lovely girls should not be roaming in the dark, and that too in the forest where there are wild creatures. And why have you all come here late at night? I know you all love me, but you should have not left your homes and come. It is for you all to look after your families, your husbands relatives. So go back. It is not nice that you have come here leaving everything. What will people say? It is not nice. Go back home. When, in a loving manner, scolded by Krishna, these gopis with tears in their eyes, who having given up everything, have come to Krishna with tears in their eyes, looking down, not in shame, but upset with Krishna for saying such harsh words, and scratching their feet with the soil and their toes. They said, "Hey Krishna, we have come to you with all love. Why do you say such harsh words to us? We have left everything and we have come here. And you say that we have done something wrong? We have all our life known that it is because you are as life in our husbands, in our families, in everyone. And we have served you only. If you leave this body and go, it's a dead body. Who loves a dead body? And now that we have come to you, you tell us to go back? How can we, whose mind is only on you, leaving you, do anything? Because after all, everything we did was just as you do. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna. We got up in the morning, it was Krishna Krishna. Yeah. We heard the morning alarm also, it was Krishna Krishna. We did all our work, milking the cows, making curds, making butter out of it. We looked after our families all the time. Krishna, 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 Krishna. And now that we have a chance to come to Krishna, you telling us to go away? Is this what you see in our love? We know that you are the Lord of the universe. You are the only beloved because of whom we all love everybody. So, don't you send us back. Don't you say such harsh and cruel words. Krishna said, I was not saying cruel words. I was just telling you all to go and do your duties. Otherwise, you are out here at night. But now, knowing the love of the Gopis, and the Gopis had not come here not knowing who Krishna was. Otherwise, running after a boy alone in the forest would not be nice for all these girls. But knowing that they had no other desire in their heart but to love, to worship Krishna, such pure-minded Gopis, Krishna told them that when your mind is so pure, I will delight you. And they started playing on the banks of the river Yamuna, whose sand was so soft and it was so cooling. And they sang, they danced, they had such a wonderful time. Krishna cracked jokes for them, Krishna sang for them, they sang for Krishna. Krishna smiled for them. They felt so shy when Krishna smiled for them. And they were enjoying themselves so much, getting as though exclusive love only from Krishna to them. And each gopi felt Krishna was looking only at them. Krishna was smiling only at them. Krishna was singing only for them. Krishna was smiling. Krishna was loving them. Only them and them only. But these gopis who had come with only Krishna, Krishna in their mind, and therefore Krishna was ready to sport with them, to play with them, to delight them, to thrill them, to make them feel happy and give them whatever they wanted. But these gopis suddenly started feeling, Krishna is looking at me only. Krishna is watching me only. See, from all the gopis, I am blessed. For Krishna loves me only. Krishna thinks I am the most beautiful. He thinks I love him the most. When each gopi became proud like this, even though Krishna made all the gopis feel he loves them, but they did not realize that Krishna's love is special for everyone. Krishna loves you also. But when they started thinking Krishna loves me only, then when such pride, such ego comes in, we forget Krishna but start thinking how special I am, how great I am. And when this I comes in, this ego comes in, then can also come jealousy, hatred, and Krishna, to bless them, suddenly disappeared, vanished. None of the gopis could see him. And now, receiving so much love from Krishna and seeing his most beautiful form, dark in complexion, shining in the moonlight, with curly hair, big lotus petal-like eyes, and his smiling face, his enchanting form, his bewitching smile. When they suddenly did not see Krishna in their midst, they started weeping, they started crying. They were missing Krishna, who was there now with them. And suddenly, Krishna disappeared. You don't want Krishna to disappear, no? So, remember, Krishna, 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 Krishna. When I and my comes, we begin to cry. But when mind is on Krishna, everything is beautiful. And know that Krishna loves us. And if we forget Krishna, then there is sorrow. Krishna, 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 Krishna. And the gopis started calling out, "Hey Krishna, come back to us. Oh Krishna, please come back to us." But Krishna had disappeared. But you don't allow Krishna to disappear from your heart. Let him play in the garden of your heart, in your playroom of your heart. And Krishna will do everything for you. Krishna, 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 Krishna.
You cannot steal what is already yours. But Krishna did steal something. To find out, read Krishna's Bharatav. This is one of my favorite books growing up as a kid, as it shows the cheeky little Krishna with his little mischievousness and how we have a little bit of him within us all.
When I was little and I read this book, I learned that I had a friend, an invisible friend called Krishna. I learned that whether when I was happy or sad, Krishna would always be by my side. You should also read this book to learn more about your friend, Krishna.
Krishna loves you, don't you know? When I was a kid, I used to love reading this book because it showed me Krishna loved me when I was sleeping and when I was eating and when I was doing everything else. Get this book and find out how much Krishna loves you.
Krishna Walks was my favorite book growing up as a child because it taught me how to be a hero to the people I love. This book talks about Krishna's love, warmth, and security, and it taught me how to always say thank you to God. And like Krishna said, God gives us without our asking.
Krishna Photocopied Himself was my favorite book growing up because it showed me that Krishna is all around me. My favorite part of the book is actually the end with the mirror because it showed me that Krishna is inside my heart.
Krishna, Krishna,